So the Democratic establishment is having secret anti-Bernie Sanders meetings, and at this point now it's not so secret. They were hiding it, but it leaked in the New York Times. So take a look at this. The matter of what to do about Bernie and the larger imperative of party unity has, for example, hovered over a series of previously undisclosed Democratic dinners in New York and Washington organized by longtime party financier Bernard Schwartz. The gatherings have included scores from the moderate or center-left wing of the party, including Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senator Chuck Schumer, the minority leader, former Governor Terry McAuliffe of Virginia, Mayor Pete Buttigieg of South Bend. Mayor Pete was at these, wow. And the president of the Center for American Progress, Neera Tanden. Oh, God. So, if you weren't convinced yet that Buttigieg is terrible, well, now you know. Now you know. Secret meetings with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Neera Tanden and a bunch of these corporate Democrats. And they go on to say, quote, "He did us a disservice in the last election," said Mr. Schwartz, a longtime Clinton supporter who said he would support former Vice President Joseph R. Biden Jr. in this primary. And they go on to expand on that, and they say, he heard us, bro, in the last election. Hold on. What did we learn about the last election from WikiLeaks, by the way? Which I know you guys say, oh, Russian attack on the government. You're not allowed to talk about any of the factual stuff that was released. Well, no, we're going to talk about it because we care about the truth here, unlike you. So, what did we learn? We learned that Donna Brazile was slipping Hillary Clinton questions to the debates beforehand. We learned that they tried to bury the debates on purpose so they wouldn't give Bernie more time and allow his candidacy to blow up. We learned about Hillary Clinton giving these speeches and to rich folks and saying, there's an intolerable bigotry against the rich in this country. We learned about Hillary Clinton saying she has public positions and private positions. We learned about her saying she's for totally free and open trade borders. Basically, that's like NAFTA on steroids. We learned about so much DNC fuckery. We learned that the DNC was literally acting as a campaign arm of Hillary Clinton. That's not an exaggeration. They had a fundraising agreement between the two of them. So this body that's supposed to be neutral was acting as a campaign arm of one of the two final candidates. This is why people say, yeah, it was kind of rigged. Because it was kind of rigged. It absolutely was. So we learned that, and these assholes have the nerve to say, quote, he did us a disservice in the last... He did you a disservice. He did you a disservice. What about you doing him a disservice? Or are you just done pretending like you even believe in democracy and care about the will of the people? Because that's what it seems like the reality is. And that's the truth. They don't care about democracy. It was a coronation for Hillary Clinton the last time. He got in the way with this fucking popular ideas of like helping people and actually being left-wing. He got in the way. Step the fuck aside. Let the corporatist status quo neoliberal get in power and shut the fuck up. You know your role. The left doesn't take over the party. We determine it. Us wonderful establishment centrists. Yes. They have the nerve to say shit like this. And now, the most important point is what? What happened to unity? Because how often do they scream about that? 24/7, they scream about that. Oh, unity! Oh, we must come together to beat Donald Trump. Oh, unity! Fall in line. Why doesn't the left unify? Fall in line. Unify. Notice, the cries only work in one direction. When it's the lefty who's the front runner and who's the overwhelming favorite, Bernie Sanders, all of a sudden they're like, okay, what can we do to stop this guy's momentum? How can we undercut him, undermine him, defeat him, smear him? And recently they've been smear after smear in the media, throwing shit against the wall and hoping it sticks. So the reality is they don't believe in unity. They never did believe in unity. In the same way that they would scream about unity, and then they recently turned around and said, we should primary Ilhan Omar. What happened to unity? I thought you said unity. I thought you said, oh, the wings need to come together and hold hands and sing Kumbaya to defeat Trump. Unless, of course, we don't like you, in which case we're going to undercut you and undermine you and smear you and make it so that there is no unity. So listen, the whole point of me doing this segment is to say this. If you're a lefty politician, wake up. There is a civil war. It is raging. It is going on, and it's strong. And you need to acknowledge it. Shoving your head in the sand and pretending, oh no, we can get along and hold hands and sing kumbaya. No. They're going to undercut you and undermine you and smear you and besmirch you on a regular basis. And if you're not prepared to respond, then you're a sucker. You understand that? I hope I'm being clear. Because that's the thing that happens to them. They want you to play ball, but you don't get to tell them to play ball. Hey, how about you play ball? How about you play ball and realize the front runner is the guy who you don't agree with? But hey, unity, right? So how about you shut the fuck up? They only scream at you to play ball. You never get to tell them to play ball. You never get to tell them, hey, chill. Do you want to beat Donald Trump? Bernie Sanders just did the Fox News town hall. He ranted and railed against the trade deals, and we know he's changing people's minds. I've seen personal evidence of it. Granted, it's anecdotal, but my brother-in-law's friend who's a hardcore Republican is like, I think I'm going to vote for Bernie now. So he's changing minds. Those 70,000 votes in the Rust Belt that turned the election to Trump, they would immediately flip back to Bernie. So here's the strongest candidate to beat Bernie Sanders, not to beat Donald Trump. Not just my opinion, that's actually a fact. When you look at the polls, Bernie Sanders is beating Trump in every poll. So he definitely is the strongest candidate. So how come I don't get to turn around to you and say, unity, fall in line? Because again, it's a tool. They use it to bludgeon you over the head. It's a tactic. It's not a real principled belief they have. It's a tactic. So, and by the way, when I said we need to engage in the civil war if we're on the left, let me be clear. There is no civil war among the actual people. The actual people are crystal clear. We want Medicare for all. We want free college. We want a living wage. We want to end the wars. We want to legalize marijuana. We want a Green New Deal, so on and so forth. Among the people, that's Mortal Kombat flawless victory all day long. They're on the side of the left. Where there is a raging civil war is in Washington, D.C., in the halls of Congress and in the Senate, where the establishment wing of the party makes up the majority of the people there. And they will do everything to undermine not just the left, but their own base and the people in their own party. So that's why it's important you recognize that there is a civil war, because you're fighting against a small cabal of elites who are trying to block progress on purpose so that they can keep serving their donors. But now you know. They are losing their minds over Bernie Sanders and his momentum. And they're trying to undermine it at every turn. The only positive thing that came out of this article, which I loved, is they kind of realize that they're fucked. And here's what I mean by that. They think, oh my God, if we go after him, that only emboldens his supporters. So the more we go after him, the more it might help him. That's what some of them say. And the other ones are like, well, what are we going to do? We have to go after him because that's our only prayer is if we go after him to take him down, right? So they're like, they don't see a way out. That's the best part of this story is that they've now recognized the conundrum. It's a conundrum that I brought up to you a long time ago about how this happened to Trump in 2016. The Republican establishment and the media went after him, and he just got stronger and stronger. And they're like, oh, what do we do? Do we keep going after him because he's getting stronger? Do we do nothing? Can we beat him if we do nothing? I think the media smearing Bernie nonstop, and now the Democratic establishment smearing him nonstop, we might be at the point where he already has that name recognition and he's already so liked that it helps him when they do that to him. So he could trump the Democratic primary in a way. They're aware of that contradiction and that conundrum and that paradox, and they don't know what to do about it, which is awesome.